Captain Matt here again with the true cost of boat ownership calculator. So I wanted to do this video so you had an idea of how to use this. It looks a little bit complicated, but it's fairly simple when you understand how I built it. As you can tell, I am not a tech whiz. Maybe someday this is something that will get built into a calculator on the web, but for right now, it's an Excel spreadsheet that you can use. So the first thing you want to do is determine what price range you're going to be buying in. So those are in the blue section because as you hit different price ranges, the interest rates will change, the type of financing you can get will adjust, and some of the other pieces will change, including the depreciation. So the more expensive the boat, typically the faster it will depreciate. And that's is taken into account in this calculator because it's not just the cost of the boat, it is the monthly amount that you're going to invest in the boat, insurance, gear, storage, all of that. But then there's also an asset when you get ready to sell it or trade it in on your next boat, and there's some value there. And certain boats will depreciate faster than others. And I wanted to give you a ballpark that you could use to know, okay, if I run this boat for 5 years, let's say, what would the approximate value be? You never know. Things can change drastically, but this will give you at least an idea, a ballpark of what the total cost would be over that 5 years. Not just the price of the boat, but everything. So that's how it's built. So first, look at that to give you an idea of some estimates. And then you're going to fill in your information in the yellow section. So you're going to start with the boat price. So whatever price of boat that you're looking at, you can just enter that right there in the top section. So we'll say a $25,000 boat. The sales tax in your area, I'm in South Carolina, our sales caps at $300. Yours may be a percentage of the sales price. I know Tennessee, which is pretty close, has a 7.5% sales tax. I think California is 7%. North Carolina caps at $1,500. So find out what your boat sales tax is in your area. And then if you're buying from a dealer, you're likely going to have a document prep registration fee. Now, that's the fee they charge for handling all of the registration, dealing with the DNR, the wildlife, whatever it is in your area. And typically, they're going to charge a fee for that. If you're buying from a private individual, you are going to handle that piece. So there is a service provided that it can be a negotiated amount, but some dealers do not negotiate on that. But put that in there. If you're planning on buying from a dealer, it's usually anywhere from a couple $100 up to $500, $600, $700, depending on the price of the boat that you're buying. If you're financing, you can put in the down payment. If you watch our boat loan video, you'll know that 10% is pretty common. If you're buying an older boat, it may be as much as 20% that they ask for. If there's other extenuating circumstances, they may charge a little bit more for the down payment. That'll calculate the amount and the loan amount. And then the interest rate. Right now, 5.99 in 2020. The end of 2020, as I record this, is a pretty common rate to see if you have absolute perfect credit. You may get down a little bit lower than that, but you should be able to look that up and maybe even get pre-qualified somewhere to get that rate for you. And then the term, depending on the loan amount, is going to depend on your term. So a $23,500 loan amount, that is actually going to put us probably in a 84-month term, a 7-year term. They may go up to 12 years, so 144 months. We'll do 144 months. That gives us a monthly payment of $227.25. Okay, it's just going to calculate that all for you. The loan payment. Now we're going to look at monthly expenses of boat ownership. So you've got the monthly amount, but you also have boat insurance. There's a video on boat insurance. Boat insurance is fairly inexpensive, especially if you're on an inland lake. It's going to be based on several factors: where the boat's located, the speed of the boat, the price of the boat. Do you trailer it? Do you keep it on the water? Are you in a hurricane zone? All of those things will impact. And even if you're in a hurricane zone, what's the hurricane projection for the year, and what have the hurricane damage and claims been over the past couple of years for that particular lender? All of those things can impact it. Watch the video on boat insurance if you haven't. It's pretty valuable. And we also are looking at partnering with some insurance companies that provide great coverage. We're kind of vetting them right now so that we're not promoting somebody that doesn't deliver a good service is what we're most important. And then the storage. Where are you going to store the boat? If you're going to put it in your driveway, you can make that a 0. If you're going to store it, in a dry stack storage waterfront, it may be as much as $500 a month. Maintenance. Typically about $600 per engine is going to cover your maintenance. Now, maintenance is just what needs to be done on a yearly basis. So oil changes, gear lube, impeller changes, new batteries, that type of thing. Now, the older your boat, the more likely that maintenance is going to be a little bit higher. So there's, you may need to change some belts and some hoses. You may need to do a new spark plugs. So make the adjustment. That $600 is for a newer engine that, is under, let's say, 300 hours. But as you get up into the 300, 500, 700, 1,000 hours, that maintenance can be a little bit steeper at times. To keep that engine running good. Fuel consumption. Consider your boating style, the type of boat that you have. I mean, it could be as low as $25 a month. If you have a 50 horsepower pontoon, you cruise out to a cove that's 5 minutes away, and you sit and you anchor for 8 hours, and then you cruise back. If you're surfing all day long and you're running for 8 hours, that may be $500, $600 to $1,000 a month, depending on how you run your boat. So that's going to be kind of an estimate on your part. And then repairs. Repairs are the things that are unexpected. You damage your prop and you have to have that rebuilt. Something breaks down and you have to repair it. So this is going to be very dependent on the age of your boat and the condition of your boat and the way you maintain your boat. So the less general maintenance that you do and the less consistent you are with that, the higher your repair costs are going to be. So that's going to be, put something in there if you're buying a used boat. If you've got a new boat with warranty, you shouldn't have any repair costs unless you do something that causes damage. You hit an underwater obstruction that's not covered by insurance. You break something, the kids are a little bit hard on something, you do something that you shouldn't have. So put something in there, and that will tell you what your total cost of real cash flow every month. Now, this could be just for the summer months. You're not going to have fuel in the winter. Your maintenance and your repair costs aren't going to be on a monthly basis, but it gives you an idea of what boating is going to cost for you. So, for me, if you're going to do storage yourself, your insurance, let's say it's a pontoon with a 90 horsepower and it's a couple of years old. This might be a pretty good, I'd bump fuel up a little bit, so $477.25 is the monthly real cash flow of owning that boat. Now, that is what it's going to cost you, but what is the real cost? So if you're comparing it to, well, what if we took a vacation, or what if we bought a condo at the beach, or what if we went to Disney World or put in a swimming pool? How can you compare it there? Well, this is where the amortization schedule comes in. Again, it's an estimate with the depreciation. Typically on a boat, anywhere from 5% to 20%. The newer the boat, the more expensive the boat. Typically, the greater the depreciation is. The older the boat, the less expensive the boat, the less the depreciation is. So a boat that's 10 years old, that's in good condition and well taken care of, it's not going to depreciate a significant amount. But a brand new boat, a $150,000 Tri-Tune with twin engines, the first couple years, that's going to take a pretty significant depreciation hit. And you just sort of have to make your best estimate if you want to get into this level of detail. So for us, we're taking this boat that is a $25,000 boat. We're going to say we're going to keep it for 5 years at 5% depreciation. So you can see the 5 years there. We're going to say 10, then we're going to adjust that, okay? So we're going to come down and we're going to say, okay, this is what the 10-year value for the boat is, $15,447 with 5% depreciation per year. So we're going to put that in here, $15,447. Okay, so we spent $25,000 on the boat. We are going to sell it for $15,000 at the end. So the total cost of owning that boat was only $10,000 for $1,000 a year, really. You add the interest that you paid because you are going to pay interest. So there's an estimate of what that interest will be. It really depends on if you pay it early, but that's going to give you a ballpark. There is an amortization schedule on the loans. So you're paying about $5,896. So the actual cost of the boat all in. So this is a real live, as fully baked as we can get it with this kind of rudimentary spreadsheet here. $16,249.39 is the actual cost of owning that boat over the 10-year period. If you break it down to a monthly basis, it's $135 a month to own the boat, $1,625 a year, and then when you figure in the fuel, the maintenance, all the other stuff, on a monthly basis, it costs $613 a month, or $7,352 per year. Now, one thing I'll warn you against is there's all these formulas in here that I didn't take the time to go in and protect them and do some of the more advanced things. If somebody out there is an Excel wizard and they want to do that and send it to me, I will gladly update it. But for right now, it's open. So if you go in and you monkey with some of these cells that are white, that have a formula in them, and you save it, that formula is gone, and the spreadsheet is going to be calculating incorrectly. So just a note there. And then there's other expenses to consider. You may have property tax in your state that is on a yearly basis. Everybody does it a little bit different. In my state, there is a property tax on a boat yearly, and you would want to include that in. Then you have gear. So if you're buying a brand new boat, the dealer may give you a safety pack and an anchor, or maybe a couple of dock lines and some fenders. They may give you nothing. It depends on the dealer that you're working with, but you're definitely going to need life vest for everybody in the boat. I encourage, I did a video on what gear you need, but I encourage good fitted life jackets for everybody that's on the boat consistently, and then enough life vest plus one for the capacity of your boat. So if there's 5 in your family, everybody has their own fitted life jacket, especially the kids under 12 have to wear it while the boat's in operation in most U.S. states, if not all. And then a good fitted life jacket for everybody in a boat. And if your capacity is 12, then you would have another 7 vests plus 1, so 8 vests that are just tucked away. When you have family come in, when you're guests, and when you have unexpected people on the boat, you're covered and you don't get caught in a situation where you don't have enough. Dock lines, I like 4 dock lines. If you are on the water and you have a larger boat, maybe even 6 that stay on the boat. And then if you're tying up on a dock, have dock lines that you leave on the dock if it's a dock you are a home dock, or a dock that you're at a lot and it's your personal space. Dock lines, you never want to be caught on the water without dock lines. Fenders to protect your boat, an anchor chain, and 100 foot of road or anchor line. is pretty common. Depending on the water, maybe 100 foot is overkill. Maybe 100 foot's not enough. Depending on the type of boat and where you do your boating. A cooler, flares have to be on the boat to be legal, and if you're offshore, fishing equipment, water sports equipment, electronic stereo upgrades, trailer tires, cleaning supplies, water toys, all those other things that may come with owning a boat. You can watch the boat on Boating Gear. You can go to our Boat Buyer Secret Weapon Boating Rolodex, which gives you a bunch of links to different gear. So you can just, even if you're not ready to buy it yet, just go see how much are dock lines, how much are fenders, how much is an anchor and anchor line. And I break it out by the size of the boat. Water sports equipment. We've got with our pontoon, we've got a big Mabel. With the Cobalt, we've got a Super Mabel, which is a ginormous 3-person one, and that thing was like $500-600. A lily pad, those big mats that float, $500-600. So you want to check what the cost of that is, and so you know what the investment's going to look like. Now, I'll tell you, you can be on the water go to Play It Again Sports or go to Craigslist and get some used equipment that's in really great shape. If you buy a pre-owned boat, a lot of times if they're getting out of boating, they'll just leave the gear with it, and you can get what amounts to several $1,000s of gear if you had to buy it new. So you may want to take that into consideration when you're looking at different boats. Does it come with gear? Is it in decent shape? Are they just throwing it in? Are they charging $100 for it and they'll just give it to you all? What are you all getting? That can save you a lot of money if it's something that is important to you. So that's how the calculator works. Again, don't monkey with the spreadsheets. Only enter information in these yellow sections. And if I find somebody that's more of an Excel wizard than I am, which doesn't take much, I will try to get these all protected. I know it's doable. I just didn't have the knowledge to do it, and I wanted to get this out to you. So if you are an Excel wizard and you want to help me out, reach out to me. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll give you access to the Magic Money Saving Method for free, just as a thank you, and gladly have you on the podcast as a guest. If you want to ask me any of your boating questions, again, it would be greatly appreciated. And if that happens, I'll update this video and I will update the file for everybody and notify you. So that's the calculator. Remember, there's 2 special bonus videos, 11 reasons to own a boat or to buy a boat, and an interview with Dr. Wallace J. Wallace J. something. Anyway, he wrote the book called The Blue Mind. It's about the scientific, he's a neuroscience marine expert that studied neuroscience about the impact of water and being around water, being in water on the brain, and why it really is a calming place, a place to relax, a place to disconnect, a place to connect with your family, disconnect from the real world and chaos and technology and all that. It's a really interesting video, and I wanted to share that just as a little special bonus for you. And if you would answer some of the questions that are in these modules, it helps me improve the content, improve the tools that we provide for you. And thank you very much, and we will talk to you soon. Happy boating, everybody.